Hey guys, good morning. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, so guys, for today there is no specific agenda, as you all know. It's a doubt class. Okay, so what I will do, how I'm going is I'll be calling on a person's name and he needs to ask his doubts, and that's how I will be moving. Okay, it won't be like randomly anyone is asking his doubts. So I'll start maybe alphabetically. So I'll go to Adhyan first. Adhyan, any questions, doubts you have?
So one doubt I'm facing is, so when I tried to run on that binary classification notebook,
Yes.
so the thing was I can't use the label encoder in it.
Label encoder as in the string indexer.
No, I can use the string indexer one by one, but I was not able to use the that for loop.
Oh, so that's more of a programmatical question than which we can discuss later. But other than that, any doubt, any issues?
No, sir, not.
Okay, let's do one thing quickly. Share your screen and let me see what's the error you are getting.
Oh, so can I get 2 minutes, sir? And I share after 2 minutes.
No problem. Okay, so let me move on to the next person. D. Shrikant Reddy. You have any questions on anything related to Hadoop, Big Data, Spark?
No, sir. Actually, I'm still learning the previous classes you had taught.
Anything means in Big Data, NoSQL, Hadoop, Spark.
Tomorrow exam is there, right? So I'm just covering only Spark classes.
Okay, okay. Yeah, tomorrow and day after you will be getting 2 days. Means if you can submit tomorrow, it's good. Otherwise, day after tomorrow also you can submit. It's up to you. Just try to submit it as soon as possible once you get the question.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay,
But
sir.
what have you studied so far in Spark?
In first class, you said about the what is how to use Databricks and Python in Spark, and you said about the Python platform.
Yes.
It is the processing. It's do processing. The storing is some other thing like that. Storing
Okay,
will
no
be
problem.
in Hadoop or Databricks cloud.
Okay, okay, perfect, perfect. So if you have any questions, do reach out to me over WhatsApp as well. Okay.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Okay, moving over to you, Honey. Any questions, any doubts? Honey, you are there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Any question you have, anything that you studied and you have any doubts?
No, sir, not yet.
Okay. So you are clear what is the difference between RDD and data frame? Can you please tell me the difference between RDD and data frame?
Sir, sir, RDD is a collection of like elements, and data frame is more organized.
Organized as in it contains an schema.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So okay, please prepare for the exam then. Harish, any question from you?
Sir, regarding this PySpark,
Mhm.
like when we upload the data, like I was getting confused, like how to get it into the notebook.
Can you share your screen?
No, sir, I didn't open that. It's not open right now. Should I?
Yeah, yeah. If you have any questions, so that's only how I can help, right?
I'll log in into Databricks once.
Yeah, log in and let me know. Huh?
Okay, sir.
Mayank, over to you. Any question? Mayank, I think you are on mute.
No, sir. I don't have.
So okay, then if you don't have, let me ask you, why is Spark faster than Hadoop or MapReduce?
Because, sir, Spark uses cache memory. That is why.
It do in-memory processing,
Yes.
but other than that,
Sir, I know only this reason.
okay. Study about DAG. What is DAG? Do you know what is DAG?
Sir, yes, it's directed acyclic graph,
Mm-hmm.
and it is we cannot go back. That is why it is known as acyclic.
But why is it important in Spark?
No, sir, I don't know.
Okay. So after your doubts are over, I will be telling you guys few additional things.
Okay.
Okay. So we stick. Wait for that.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So after Mayank, meanwhile, Adhyan or Harish, if you are ready, you can let me
Yes,
know.
sir. 1 second.
Yeah, Adhyan, please share your screen.
Yes, sir. Is it visible now? So one thing I want to ask is that what is this thing? Predictions that you have selected all these columns.
Yeah, tell me, where is the for loop or where
So
is the doubt?
one second. So I did this thing, man. So this thing. I did it one by one by transforming all the DFs.
Okay, and where is your for loop?
So for loop I did, but it didn't work. So I guess I deleted it.
No, never delete now. Whenever you have any cell that you don't want to run, convert it into markdown. Na?
Okay, so but so how we have to apply it?
Uh, so that's what I wanted to check what you have done. Then only I could help. Okay. Then let me share my screen. Wait. Is my screen visible? So let me check if I can see there is a for loop data analysis. Can you meanwhile type what you were trying to do if you remember? Because starting the cluster will take some time.
Sir, there was one hot coding in it now, but I wanted to ask that if we can use label encoding also.
Label encoding, but in a for loop, right?
Yes, sir.
Definitely you can do it. That's not a problem. Okay, meanwhile it is starting. Let me go to other people for doubts and I'll come back. Neha, you have any questions? Any doubts? Neha, you are, yeah, any questions and doubts?
No, sir.
Everything is clear?
Yes, sir. I haven't studied much, so I'll do it today.
Okay, you have an exam tomorrow, so please do that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you tell me in decision tree, like what are the different split criterias?
It's Guinea and entropy.
Other than that,
Maximum split length, that maximum depth, minimum splitting. Yes, sir.
no, those are the pruning criterias, no? Those are the pruning criterias, like when to prune the tree. Not max depth, min bucket. They are not split criterias. Are you getting my point? Means the split algorithms are information gain, entropy.
Yes, sir. Information gain, Guinea and entropy.
Okay. And do you know the formula for both Guinea and entropy?
Yes, sir.
What is the formula for Guinea?
Guinea, it's probability in bracket 1 minus probability.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if the population is randomly selected that time, and for entropy, it's summation, negative summation of probability log p.
Okay, okay. Okay, that's fine. Moving on to you, Pankaj, any questions or doubts?
Yes, sir. There are some basic questions
Yes,
to
please.
understand. Like, sir, in Hadoop, the location of like the file path is different for everyone, right? If I am using my VM machine and it will be different path, and for others there will be different.
Ideally, see, the only difference will be in this thing. Like if you see my screen.
Yes, sir.
If you see my screen, normally how the Hadoop path, HDFS path you're talking about,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
How the HDFS path is /user/Cloudera. Currently, this is how you see the path, right? For example, you're putting employee.csv file, right?
Yes, sir.
But what is Cloudera here? Cloudera is the name of the user with which you log in.
Oh, yes.
So when you work in real company, when you work on an actual cluster, you will be logging with your username. I will be logging with my username. So here it will be like Pankaj. Here it will be like Rahul. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
When you log into a virtual machine in company and you will try to see the HDFS path, you will not have anything like user Cloudera, because Cloudera is the name of the user. So currently you guys are all using a virtual machine for practice, so everyone is using same Cloudera user. But in real world, it will be like Pankaj, Rahul. So definitely the paths will be different. Default paths will be different.
Okay. But sir, using this Spark, like here the path location is mostly same for everyone. So that given a confusion, like why it is coming at the same. Only the file name will be different, like the bank 2 or bank 1 or simple bank.
You are talking about this?
Yes, sir. The file storage. So this is same for everyone. Like you said a command, and I just use that same command, making the file name is same, like the bank. So why it is same for everyone, sir?
Yeah. So see, understand it this way. If you are looking at, this is root, right? This is root, right?
Yes, sir.
Under root, there is a file store, which is a folder. So what Spark do is Spark maintains a folder known as file store, where you store all the files. So it does not necessarily need you to follow this path. But in Spark also you have these path. In Spark also you have user and Pankaj folder or user and Rahul folder. What I am trying to tell you is this is the default path. The default path where Spark is uploading files. In HDFS, the default path is always this.
Username.
In HDFS, the default path is where any file that you upload goes is user folder. Within that, whichever username is, like you are Rahul, Ajay, Akash, whatever. This is the default path. So remember that what is the default path? In Spark, the default path is always this file store / tables. But no one stops you to store file in this path also. You can store file in this path also. That is also possible, okay?
So we have to define like this. Yeah, you have to log in with this name, like kind of like user. And
let me try. Let me try.
okay.
Let me show you. Let me check if the cluster is up and running. So percentage FS. See, what I am doing, guys, this is for your knowledge, something additional. When you have to run any Linux command, no, in a cell, in a Databricks cell, whenever you have to run a Linux command, you have to say %fs, which is file system, and run a Linux command like ls. You remember pwd? We discussed a lot of commands. So Pankaj, there is a ls command, okay? When you run the ls command, see it giving you all the file paths. See, under dbfs there is file store.
Yes, sir.
1 second. Yeah. So if you look at the default path is always this file store. But there are other paths also like Databricks datasets, Databricks results, and user also. See, you have a user folder also. So if you want, you can let's see what is inside the user folder. See, there is a user with the name of Hive. So getting my point, currently there is only one user with the name Hive. We can have Pankaj, Rahul, Ajay, Akash, all different users here. Once someone create those users, right?
Okay. So if I want to save any like particular work in a particular directory, so this can be happen here also.
Yeah, let's say this. Let's say let me read this file. 1 second, Pankaj. 1 second. Let's see this. Okay. So what you have done is you have created a data frame. Okay. You have created a data frame which is reading file from this particular path, right? But now what you want, Pankaj, is you want to store this data frame. Let's say you want to store this data frame in this path. Okay. Will that help you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's create another cell. I will check the exact command, but currently I'm telling you the concept. Okay, I will tell you the exact command in a while.
Okay, sir.
Let's say this is what you want to do, right, Pankaj? That you have a data frame and you want to write that at a particular path
Yes.
where inside user hive you want to do that. Correct.
Yes, sir.
So you are saying I have a data frame. Can I write it to a path? Which path? Under user, under hive path. Because there is no Pankaj folder here, so you cannot write inside Pankaj folder. But you can write inside this, right?
Yes, sir.
Let me run this. It will not run idly because this is not the right command. I'll tell you one second. So in real world, you always have to look at different paths that are available and where you want to really store the file. Okay. I'm just checking the exit command. Data frame dot write dot CSV. Let's say out file. Guys, someone needs to go on mute. So this is what data frame dot write dot instead of path it's CSV. Yeah? So you are saying, hey, this data frame dot write into a CSV file. Which file? This file. Okay. So it's written. So let's check here. Now you have to check inside the user hive, correct? Because that file is written inside user hive. See? Just consider this HDFS, like instead of DBFS, it's Databricks file system. Consider it like HDFS.
Yes, sir.
So see, I had a data frame and I said, hey, just write this data frame to a CSV file, which is out.csv, and simple, you have this file.
Okay.
Now you want to see the content of this file, you can do that. Let's say out.csv and let's say cat. Using the cat command, you want to see the content. Save command from macro. Cat is not a member of com.databricks.dbutils, ddbfs utils. So there are only few commands which are supported here. Not all commands are supported. Cannot head a file. What I can do. I hope you're getting my point, right? Not all commands will be
Yes, sir.
supported. It's something like you used to run the commands to look at the HDFS data. Na? So on HDFS, you cannot run all the commands like a cat, head, and all. So that's the problem. But let's see if some of these will run, word count or anything. All of these are not supported. So what you can do whenever you get this error, it's saying these are all functions. Okay, like WC, it's like a function. If you look at WC for you is a command, but it will be interpreted as a function, and that function is coming from this package, dbutils package, dbutils.fs package. So what I will do, I will just check. I can just check if that particular command is available or not. Just Google this package. This is a file system utility in Databricks. Huh? Databricks gives you a file system utility known as dbutils.fs. So within that, you can check what all commands are available. So here it is. See guys, these are the commands. Copy command, head command is available. So I'll check why it's not running. ls command we tried, mkdir, mount, mv, put, refresh. So head command is available, head command. So what I'm trying to tell you is in Databricks utils package, there is a file system sub package. In that sub package, you have all these commands available. Let me share this link first. Yeah. So what I'm saying, whenever you are using this %fs, so what are the commands that are available? Okay, so for that list of commands, you can check this link, file system utility. And here you have head command. So let me click on head command. And it's asking me to use it something like this in Python. Okay, so let me check. What I was doing was this, right? I was doing head like this and it was not running. Huh? It's saying cannot head a directory. Ah, okay. Okay, my bad. When I return this data frame, no, ideally this should not be a file. This is a directory. So what happened? This become a directory. So this out.csv, it is saying you are trying to read, cannot head a directory. You cannot take the top 10 records of a directory. It needs to be a file. So what I need to do, remember like this. File not found exception. It's saying there is no file here. Let me check. So Pankaj, are you getting this? What happened was whenever you write a data frame, no, it got written into a directory. So out.csv was not a file, it was a directory. And within that directory, there is a success folder, there are these hidden folders, and see, this is the part file.
Yes.
This is the file. So we have to head this file. So let me just comment it out. Let's remove this and try to head this. So head, let's see the head of this. See, it's working now. So when you have to do head, you can remove this also, that's not a problem. So what I am saying, Pankaj, is in user hive out.csv is a folder actually. So this is a folder, and within that, this is a part file. Remember, always a part file gets created. So this is part.csv. So I have to head this file, and let's see this. See, you can see the data of that file. Obviously, only the top few records will be visible. The first 65536 bytes are visible. After that, it's not.
Yes.
So whenever you are working on Spark and you are reading any file, that file, what I'm trying to tell you is, whenever you upload from here, whenever you upload a file, that file will always go to this path. You cannot control it. Whenever you upload a file, it will always go to this path. You cannot control it.
But this file will be all permanently saved, or it will be deleted after some time. Like
it is permanent.
Okay.
But if your cluster is removed, it will be gone.
Okay.
So what I'm saying, whenever you are uploading a file, it will always go inside file store and tables. You cannot do anything. about that. What you can do is, once you have a data frame, you can persist that data frame to the path of your choice, to a folder of your choice. Let's say inside a Hive, you say a folder ABC, whatever. So this data frame will be written to a particular folder ABC, and then what you can do is you can simply ls user hive that ABC and see how many files got created inside that folder. So inside that you have a success. These are hidden folders. Huh? All folders that starts with underscore, these are hidden folders. Underscore success, underscore committed, underscore started. So just leave about it. The only important file for you is the part file with the 000 as its number. This TID is the task ID. Remember, when Spark runs the executors, and executors internally runs the tasks. So there can be multiple tasks. So here this is the task ID. So only one task ran and did the work. Okay, so you can now, if you want, let's say you want to do something on this particular file, you can create a data frame out of this file also, Pankaj. How? Let's say you what you want now, Pankaj, is let's go to this. Now you want to read this. Instead of this, you want to read data from this path. You can do that, Pankaj. You are saying this time now you are reading that part file, Pankaj, that part file that you created, and from that part file, you can create another data frame, let's say df underscore new. Now you are creating a new data frame saying spark dot read dot format options, whatever, and then load, and let's see. So this is what we normally do. Now you can display this df underscore new. Can anyone tell me why this problem? There is some problem in this data. What is that and how to solve it? Can someone look at this output and tell me?
So the age column is not properly shown.
The columns
So
are
the header is not
values.
there.
Yes, sir.
The header contain the value, right? So what is the problem? Can anyone look at this command and tell me how to solve that?
Can we make a header equal to false?
Header is equal to false, or remove this line, whatever. Okay, now let me run it again. Now it is done. It create some default column C0, C1, C2, C3, but your data is now correctly displaying.
Yes.
Okay, Pankaj, any other question?
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Like, sir, if you're using this PySpark and working like the Spark SQL, so it is working on SQL, or it is working on this? Oh, sorry, it is working on Spark, or it is working on a PySpark. Like the Spark provides this all thing machine learning, this SQL also. So, like, I just want to know on what thing it is working. Like, if you're using SQL commands. Yeah.
Okay.
Like we just whatever run a command, we will run in the different cell, but like
Can you repeat? Can you repeat the question?
like in the starting we made a cluster based on the Python, right? But if I am running any like SQL commands here, doing SQL things, so analysis, SQL analysis, so it will be work on Spark or it will work on a PySpark. It's like I want to differentiate between the Spark and the PySpark.
First of all, there is no difference between Spark and PySpark. Both are using Spark. Okay, no, that's a valid question. See, whether it's Spark or PySpark, the core is always Spark. PySpark is just using Python for Spark. PySpark is nothing different from Spark. Remember, PySpark is just using Python for Spark. That's it. But underlying everything will be running on Spark only. There is nothing like, oh, I have a separate PySpark, I have a separate Spark. So if I have to use PySpark, I'm using this. If I have to use Spark, I'm using this. No, no, no. It is just one single thing, which is a Spark. And on top of that, there is a Python layer. Understand it like this. Understand it like this, that you have a Spark layer, which is like the engine. Okay. Understand it like this, that you have a car, right? You have a car. Now, in car, engine is always the engine, right? Now, when you just key the car starts, right? And engine runs and propels your car. But now let's say you don't have to key it. They give you a button. You just click on that button and the car starts. Whether you key it or you click the button, every time engine is running, right? There are not two separate engines in the car, one for key and one for button. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Engine is same. It's just the two different interfaces, two different ways of starting the engine, whether you use a key or you use a button. So similarly, Spark engine is same. Whether you use Python or Scala, these are just two different options to run your programs on Spark. Okay.
Yes.
So first of all, there is no separate thing as PySpark or Scala Spark, Java Spark. No, everything is a Spark. It's just an interface, a layer on top of Spark, which is given so that whenever you are running, you are using this layer, it's like you are using a Python layer to interact with it. But there can be another layer parallel to that, which is a Scala layer. There can be another layer, which is a Java layer. But all of these programming languages are accessing the core Spark only. So, for example, this program, when you submit, you have written a Python program, right? So what you have done, it's like you are in this layer. You are in this layer, Pankaj. In this layer, let's consider this layer is your Jupyter notebook. This layer which I'm filling up, this layer is your Jupyter notebook. You are logged into your layer, the Jupyter notebook. You write your program and you submit it. It goes into the Spark engine. Okay, so you are not doing anything different. It's just you want to use Python, so you are using an interface. That's it. So what happens? Your Python program internally gets converted into the Scala or Scala or Java only, but you don't need to worry about it because this core layer understands only Java. Understand it like this. This core layer understands only Java because it is written in Java. But you don't need to worry about it. When you submit the program, there is this interface layer that you have, no, the PySpark layer. That PySpark layer automatically converts the Python program into Java program before sending it to the core engine, which is this. So PySpark is just an interface. Understand it like this is a Spark. On top of it, you have PySpark. So PySpark is just an interface, a translator, like English to German, you have language translator, German to French, like we have language translator. Here also it's like a translator, Python to Java translator. So PySpark is just working as a translator, which converts your Python into Java and submit to the core layer. So always you are running the core Spark only. Getting it, Pankaj?
Yes, sir.
Let's see if you go to cluster. Let's see if you go to compute and you say create a cluster. See, whenever you are creating a cluster, it's not saying Python, it's saying Spark cluster. It's not saying, hey, you want to create a PySpark cluster? No, you are creating a Spark cluster. PySpark is just an additional feature. Getting my point?
Yes,
PySpark
sir.
is just an additional feature you are getting. But you are not starting a PySpark cluster, you are starting a Spark cluster. And see, it's talking about Scala because Spark was built in Scala. So whenever you have a Spark cluster, it will always have support for Scala, but it may not run PySpark. It can happen. In very rare scenario, it can happen that on a Spark server you are working, it supports only Scala, but it does not support PySpark because PySpark is an additional utility for those who want to use Python. But you never say, hey, let's create a PySpark cluster. No, 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 no. You always create a Spark cluster. PySpark is an additional feature which comes with it. Getting my point?
Yes, yes.
Any doubt now?
Yes, sir. So, like, if you're making any workspace or creating a new notebook, so that will be depend on like what programming language you're using, like R or Python.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So,
You
like, if
see here, it's written na Python.
yes, yes,
You can change it to R, Scala, anything when you create a new notebook, right?
yes.
When you click on a new notebook, here you have the options to select languages, right? So Scala will always be there.
So, like, one more doubt, like, RDD is considered as the in-memory computing capability. So, I don't understand what I want to understand this term, like, in-memory computing capabilities for RDD.
Okay, okay. I'll tell you. Give me guys just 1 minute. I'll be back.
Okay.
Meanwhile, please have some questions. Good Pankaj that you have questions. I'll be back in 1 minute. Yeah, Pankaj, sorry, there was something important. Yeah, Pankaj, you are asking about the in-memory processing, right?
So, like it is for only RDD or like every storage thing in the Spark?
For
Or
every.
okay.
Let's see. Let's consider this. This is as one of the data node, another data node. This is another data node. So first of all, guys, please study because you have your Viva also this week, huh? So a lot of things needs to be studied for you. Can anyone tell me in Spark uh, what is the name of the master node and what is the name of data node? In Spark, what do we say? What is the
Uh,
name? Huh?
Driver and worker.
driver node and
Burn
state
worker.
and
Driver
Worker.
and worker, right? Very good.
Worker.
And within worker, so whenever you submit a program, it goes to driver. Driver has what? Spark context. That Spark context talks to what? Yarn. And ask where can I run this program? Let's say Yarn say you run on this machine and on this machine. So what happens on this worker node? Executors start. Executors. Executing a program. Executors. Now within the executor, here you can have maybe 2 tasks. Here you can have maybe 1 task running, right? Like this. So this is how the normal program execution in Spark looks like. Okay. But now what I am saying is there is always a cache element involved, a cache. There is always a cache which is involved. Let's say there also you have a cache element which is always involved. So what happens normally is, let's say you are running some program and this task generates some data, some output. Okay. Now that output from this task, either you can write it to the disk, to the hard disk, or you can keep it in memory. So when you say keep it in memory, what happens is it remains in memory. The output of this task remains in memory. And now the output of this task, if it is needed by say multiple other tasks, maybe this task which is running here, or maybe even this task, what they will do, they will immediately access it from the cache, from this cache. They don't need to get it from the disk. Output of one task may be needed by some other task. So those tasks, they will directly get it from the cache. That's why we say it's in-memory processing. That output of tasks, they are stored in cache, so that other tasks, if they need the same data, they can get it from the cache instead of getting it from the disk. Consider an example that I give you a file and I ask you to let's say this file contains data for India and Germany, multiple records for India and Germany. And I want to, yeah, let's say there is a country column and then let's say you have a gender column. Let's say gender column, males and females. Okay. So you have a file with country column and the gender column. So first task, what the first task needs to do, I want the first task to read the data, whatever it is. Okay. And I'll say whatever is the data, keep it in cache. So the first task reads the file from wherever HDFS and let's say it stores it in the cache. Then there is another task which wants to group by country and want to see the count of records. group by country. So you have the first task which reads the data, and that data goes into the second task. What the second task do? It group by the data based on country. How many records are for India? How many are for Germany? But now let's say there is another task which wants to do group by gender. Total how many records are for males and how many for females? So this task, it also needs the same data, right? So this first task, which was responsible for generating the data, reading the data, and keeping it in cache. So if the first task keeps the data in cache, then both of these tasks, one which is doing the group by on country and another which needs to group by on gender, both can refer data from the cache. But if this task haven't persisted the data in cache, right, rather it return it into the disk, then both of these tasks, whenever they needed the data, they will go to disk. Whenever they needed data, the system will read data from the disk and performance will be slow. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So this is what the cache is. Now let me make it more simple. Here, what will be the output after this task? Let's say you could run a collect command, a collect or a show command. So it will say for India, let's say there are 100 records, and let's say for Germany there are 200 records. Only 2 records will be output, correct? Pankaj, when you do group by on country, and there are only 2 country records, you will only get 2 records, right?
Yes, India and Germany.
But this task generated this output, right? What about this output? Where will it go?
In cache only.
Yes, it again depends on you. The output of this task, whether you want to keep it in cache or you want to put it to disk.
So we can control it, like we can say
Yes.
that we this. Okay.
You can control it. Okay.
Okay.
At every task level, you can control it. Because let's say after this particular task, there is another task. There is another task. What that task want? That wants to do filtering. Remember in RDDs, there is actions and transformations.
Yes, sir.
So this is what, this is building a DAG only, right? A directed acyclic graph is getting built. This is a DAG only, na? Reading
Yes,
the
sir.
file, grouping, then filtering. So I want to filter and see only the data for India. So then finally you will get the data for India. So if you have cached this data, in memory, that is good. You can directly read it. I'll tell you one more important thing here, that the output of this task, by default, let's say it is not getting stored, not even in cache, not in disk. Let's say the output of this task is just getting displayed and vanishes. It doesn't get stored even in disk or in cache, nowhere. Then what will happen whenever this filter task will run? Filter task will go to this task and say, so give me the India data. This task will see that it hasn't persisted data, neither in cache nor in disk. It will go back to this task. So you have to travel back the entire DAG to run the filter. So caching really saves time for you.
So it works as a fault tolerant also. Like
yes.
Okay.
And remember that storing the output of a RDD can be done in memory or can be done on disk also. Okay. Because for this task, the data was a input file. But for this task, it was doing some calculation, group by. So now here you have to take decision whether the output of that group by you want to keep it in memory or in cache, or in memory or in disk, or you don't want to store it anywhere. If you don't store it anywhere, whenever this filter task will run, it will come to this. You haven't persisted the data anywhere. It will first go here, read the data, bring it here, do the calculation. So sometimes if you want to avoid the recalculation of this step, let's say first time you do group by, so immediately you store this data in disk or cache anywhere, so that every time when this task will run, this task will read the data which was calculated earlier. It don't run this process again. Getting my point?
Yes, yes. So is there any particular command for this, like to?
Yeah. I told you guys to read about RDDs and all. So in RDD there are persist commands. So there are two main functions for this. So see, Pankaj, whenever you have an RDD, you say RDD.cache. Whenever you have an RDD, you say RDD.cache. It will be stored in memory. But when you persist, this another function have options whether you want to persist in memory and disk only. What I'm trying to say, whenever for an RDD you use a cache function, cache is always memory, so that entire RDD will be stored in memory. But sometimes you don't want to store it in memory, you want to store it in disk, so you don't use this function, cache function, you use persist function. And persist function needs an argument. Where you want to store? You want to store in memory, you want to store in disk, you want to store some data in memory and some data in disk. Let's say your RDD is so big that you cannot store everything in memory, so 50% data will be in memory, 50% will be in disk. Getting it?
Yes.
Let me show you. 1 minute. How you guys create an RDD? sc.text file, right?
Yes.
Guys, yes, no?
Yes.
These are all additional things. Why my copy paste is not working? So guys, see, I told you that whenever you have a file and you use spark context.text file, you get an RDD, right? Now, let's say this is an RDD which got created. But this RDD, whenever you read the data for this RDD, it will always come from the disk, because this file bank.csv is stored in disk, right? But what you want, you don't want to every time when you say rdd1.collect, whenever you say rdd1.collect, every time what will happen, it will go to this hard disk and read this file, and it will take time. It's running some Spark job and giving you the output. You are not happy with this. You want to improve the performance. So what you will do before rdd.collect, because see, every time you are saying rdd.collect, every time, let's say you run this collect command 10 times in the day, every time it will go and read the data from the disk, from bank2.csv file. You are not happy with that. So what you will say, hey RDD, let me cache you. As soon as you cache this RDD, means this bank2.csv files data is now stored in memory. And now when you are doing the collect command, it will read data from the cache, not from this bank2.csv file. So this time definitely the process will be faster.
But sir, in this case, it uses more memory, no? Like to store it in cache, definitely it will take more memory.
See, that's what Spark I told you, right? In Spark, the cluster is always having huge RAM, minimum 16 GB RAM. So Spark clusters are costly clusters because each machine, each worker node has huge RAM. So we are building the system with huge RAM only. That's why it's fine. Because to improve the performance, you have to compromise somewhere, right? It's cost versus performance. You put more money to get better performance. That's what the whole intent. So you are putting more money as in buying huge RAMs to get better performance. Okay.
Yeah.
So Spark clusters are costly because they have huge RAM. So if you see here, see the data is cached. The data is cached here. So, but what I am trying to tell you is there is another function known as persist function. But persist function needs an argument known as memory only. So persist function can have different kinds of arguments, but persist function with this particular argument is same as cache. So cache function or persisting with this option memory only is one and the same thing. But persist function is good because it allows you to store data in disk also, disk only. Now this persist function is not same as cache. Shivali, getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Either you use this function or you use persist with memory only option. This is same, one and the same thing. But persist function is more powerful because it solves that problem which you were saying, Shivali, that let's say memory is limited. You don't want to store everything in memory. So you say stores some data in memory and some in disk, memory and disk only. So whatever can fit in memory, it will fit, remaining it will spill to disk. But here, let's say you want to store 1 terabyte file in memory, it will save out of memory error. Because you have 16 GB RAM, but you are saying put a 1 terabyte file in that RAM. It may not be possible, right? So this will give you error, but this will say, okay, remaining data I will persist on disk. So this is better. So that's what these options are. Memory only, memory and disk only. Does that answer your points, Shivali and Pankaj?
Yes, sir. Got it. And sir, there is one more term in RDD like API, Application Programming Interface.
Yes.
What does that exactly mean, sir?
In what terms you are saying that API?
So in RDD definition, there is a term, no? API.
See, okay. One second. Whether you say RDD, data frame, data set, these are all known as
Storage.
Spark हाँ मतलब Spark मतलब storage elements only. Spark storage data structures. Oh, where it went? Spark storage data structures, right? But some people say these are Spark what storage APIs, storage API. Don't get confused with that API. API is nothing but it's like an application programming interface. So API is used in different context. The word API is used in different context, but application programming interface as in it's like a way to do programming. RDD, data frame, data set, these are way to do your programming. If you understand that RDD have different programs, we have used it, right? Actions, transformations, map, filter. So for RDD, you have a different way of programming. For data frame, what we did, we used SQL context and Spark session. We created data frame, we converted into table, we then run SQL. So that's another way of programming. Data set has another way of programming. So that's why we are saying these are different APIs, application programming interfaces. To do programming, these are different ways of doing it or interfaces to do it. Interfaces for what? Spark. So these are all different interfaces to do application level programming in Spark. Oh, okay, Shivali.
Okay, sir.
But as such, API is a very broad term. It is used in different contexts. You are from Java, Shivali?
No, sir.
What have you done in graduation?
So, like computer science, C++.
C++. Okay. No, because API, I wanted to tell you that there are REST API, SOAP API. Have you heard about that?
No, sir.
So leave it. Don't go into that. But I'm saying that API is a very big term. Huh? So Spark APIs, when it's saying okay, uh, you can work in Java, Scala, Python, and R. So they are like saying APIs as in the syntax, different syntax that you have. But ideally, that's not what APIs are. If we talk about real world, APIs are like REST API. If anyone of you is from programming background, but I'm not going into that. What is a REST API? It's not related for you. But yeah, what you are talking about is a Spark API. So Spark API means you want to work in Java, Scala, Python, and R. What? Now within Python, further what you want? Spark Python API. So there further you have options. That whether you want to work on Spark SQL, you have different syntaxes. Spark Core, which is RDD, this is data frames, right? Spark SQL is all about data frames and data sets. So these API is just a term they are using for all the different syntaxes that you have here. So if you look at API reference here, see API reference, it will give you all the syntax. Like in Spark SQL. These are different functions which are available. So all these functions, they are your APIs. Huh? Like you see data frame API, then there will be data set API, RDD API, Spark session API. So here API is just a collection of commands, to do a particular work. Collection of commands for RDD, it's RDD API. For data frame, you have data frame API. See, data frame dot cache, RDD dot cache. So we have cache function, and see, in RDD, cache is always for memory, but in data frame, cache function is memory and disk. Getting it? In RDDs, when you use cache function, it was memory only, but in data frame, the cache function is memory plus disk. It's a difference between data frame and RDD. So as you deep dive, you will see these small differences. That for RDD, cache is memory only. If you talk about RDD persistence, right? RDD persistence. So see, what is default? The default is memory. And RDD, whenever you cache, it get cached in memory. But when for a data frame you use a cache, its default storage is not memory, it's memory plus disk. Getting it, Shivali and Pankaj?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
1 second, let me get the charger. 1 second. Okay, Shivali and Pankaj, I hope you got it. So Pankaj, you hold
So
on
two
your
more questions.
questions. I'll come
Okay.
back to you after some time. Let me
Okay,
move to someone else.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so who is the next who wants to go? Shivali, you have any questions?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please.
So like in HDFS, Hadoop,
Hmm.
we usually get the data from like you said one app is WinSCP to upload the data from the local like laptop. Is there any other way to get the data into Hadoop from the local laptop other than the using the app? Like in Spark, we download the data and get it from the download part from our local laptop into the Spark. Similarly, can we do that in Hadoop also without using that app benefit?
Okay. So let me reiterate your question. You are saying that in Hadoop, from your local laptop, you want to send data to Hadoop, right?
Yes, sir.
So see, there are multiple ways. First, you upload your data to a website like GitHub, and then in Hadoop you do wget command. I hope you understand that.
Yes, sir.
From your local laptop, upload a file to GitHub, and then in Linux do a wget command, which is one thing. Second is definitely using tool like WinSCP. Okay, so these are the only ways. You don't have any other way. Okay, you cannot
Like it is sounded directly if we can do that.
no. Like you are able to upload here, you
Yes,
want
sir.
to understand if there is something there also, right?
Yes, sir.
So, okay, there used to be an option. Let me see if it is there or not. There used to be an option earlier, but now it's no more there, I think. Let me check. So, first of all, Shivali, to do what you want to do, you need a front end, right? You need a front end interface like this, correct?
Yes, sir.
Like in Spark, you logged in somewhere and you had an option to upload a file, right? So you need
Yes,
some website, right? So in Hadoop, what we have Hue, remember?
Yes, sir.
In Hadoop, the web interface that we have is Hue. Hue stands for Hadoop User Interface, HUE. Hadoop User Experience. Hadoop User Experience. So here we have an option to upload the file. Let's see. Yeah, here you have files, right? So we used to have an option to upload files earlier. I'm just trying to check if it is there or now or not. You have this option to import, see?
Yes, sir.
I'll come to that in a while. First I'm going into the files. There are these folders. There is this data folder. There is this file browser. Yeah, we have this option, Shivali. You see the upload?
Yes, sir.
Guys, all of you, can you please quickly log into Hue? Please log into Hue. Go to the file browser option. Or you have this importer option also here. So guys, please log into Hue. And on the left hand side, you have this importer option. Go to the importer option, pick data from the local file. See, you can choose file from the local. Whatever files you have, you can upload that. Guys, please all of you do it and let me know if you are able to do it. I'm creating a dummy file. You also just if you have a file, upload it. Upload the file and confirm that you are able to do it. See, it just checks that file. It sees it's a comma separated file. What is the record separator? Do it has header? Yes
But
or
does it
no?
support only 200 KB data?
That I don't know.
So like I try to import, but it's saying like warning, like file supports only 200 KB.
No, it may be because it's a free cluster, no?
Yes.
But in real world, it's not a restriction.
So if the file is imported, so where it will go in the like Hadoop or
If you do it, you will get, no?
okay.
Please proceed. See, it's telling you destination.
Oh yes, sir.
Where you want. You want it in a Hive, Spark SQL,
Oh,
where you want it. And in Hive, so which table It automatically create within this database, it will create this table for you. And remember, in Hive, when you create table, you have CSV table, text table, Avro, JSON, ORC, Parquet, different kinds of file formats. Submit it. Done. It's an internal table. See, manage table stored in this HDFS location. So file is now in HDFS. See, you have this products table now. Sample data is also there. Getting it, Shivali? Is it done?
Doing it, sir. I get that, sir.
Okay. Lokesh, please try it.
It's using this dialect as a Spark SQL. So
Don't do that, na. Just
okay.
keep it simple. You
Okay.
can practice all these things after the class.
Okay.
Just use the importer and import it.
Yes, imported. Yeah.
Okay, so you can even download a file also. There is a download button for any file. If you open, you can download that also. Shivali, can I move ahead?
Yes, sir.
Tell me what else, any other question you have?
So after this part, then we have to use this in Q only, no? In
Yeah, I
Cloudera,
mean,
like we use it. We can't do that in the part.
in
Like in Cloudera, we use it HDFS and in that only we can't do this, no?
see,
By going.
if you go in your virtual machine and you access your hue, that hue will be able to access only the files within the virtual machine.
Okay.
If you access the hue, which is for your virtual machine, that can access data only for your virtual machine. But ideally in companies, what happens is we are able to access hue in our browser in local laptop. In companies, when you go in any company, you will be given access to hue. So like this, you can access hue from your personal laptop and you can upload any file from your personal laptop to Hadoop. But we don't recommend it because of some security reasons. We don't recommend it, but it's fine because giving access to people directly to upload and download the file may have risk. There may be some secure data which they can download or upload. So that's why we don't give access to hue to everyone in the company. Okay, because it is very critical data. Anyone can download it, anyone can upload any wrong data. That's why we prefer a proper way of a WinSCP or that kind of tools, other things. But yeah, you have the options to, if you get the access to hue, you can upload files from your local laptop. Okay.
Yes.
But for your personal clusters that all of you have, because hue, that hue will run within the virtual machine only. So for that, you cannot upload outside files from Windows. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Any other questions, Shivali?
Yes, sir. One more thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so that's how machine learning part, like while doing in Spark, like with the group by, if I want to use different columns in having or can I do that in single having?
Yeah, means that's not a problem. 1 second.
I was trying, sir, but I can use that with single column. I can put multiple conditions, but for different columns, it was showing error. I don't know what. And now mistakenly that file was deleted by me.
No problem. That's not a problem. Let me do it. For example, this is the data, and let's say you want to group by the job and see how many technicians are there, how many admins are there, right?
But that's in single column, only jobs are different. I was saying if there are different columns in it.
I'll come to that. 1 second. Okay, so tell me now what you want. What I have is I have a data frame which is converted into table, and I can group by job to get for each job how many people are there. Tell me now what you want.
So like if I want to use having marital status equals to single and education equals to any of the category like tertiary and
Okay, 1 second. Okay. Now you want to say having marital as say married, huh? Can anyone tell me why this failed?
So do we need to group by the marital also?
Wait for that. No, no, no. First, don't go into the solution. Tell me what is the problem. You are telling me the solution. Read the error and tell me, guys, and you have to understand these errors. What is the error saying? So Shivali, see, having is only used with group by. You cannot use having separately. That means having should have some restrictions. That means having, you can use only those columns which are part of group by. So if you group by job, and then what is the output? See, Shivali, what is the output? So this is the output, right? Having will work after the group by. Having is a filter condition which runs after the group by. Means once this data is ready, now you can run it. So that means having will have only two columns to look at, either this or this. So it can only work basis this. So that means you only want to see those records, let's say where count is greater than 400. So you will say having, let's say you give it as an alias CNT greater than 400. So first group by will happen, Shivali. You will get this output. Having will run only on these two columns.
but so we can have in group by we can have multiple columns, right?
No, wait. We'll go one by one. Now, but what is your requirement? Your requirement is to group by the two column job and marital. Okay. Now, if you have two columns here you can use either these two columns or the aggregate condition. So now you can say yes. Before you go into that, first see how the output will look like. Those who are entrepreneurs, they are all married only. Huh? Unknown, they are also married. Let me order it. So those who are admin, they are single, married and divorced. Those who are blue collar, okay. Entrepreneurs, there are so
Can we merge all these values? Like we can self-employed and without any income, all these columns into one.
no, wait. Let me first answer Shivali. Shivali, are you getting my point that now since you have a combination of entrepreneur and married like this, now what you want is up to you. Now if you want to use a having clause to see only say marital people, married people, so you only want to do analysis on the married people. So out of the data which is available here, you will get only the married people. So, and within the married people, what you are interested in, let's say, count. So you want to see that those who are married, majority of those people, they are in management field. Lesser are in blue collar job, technician, admin, retired, services, entrepreneur. So there are few students who are married also, but very less. So if you look at the distribution of data based on married, you can do this analysis that most of the married people are in these top 3 categories. So that's how you can do the analysis. Shivali, do you want to do anything other than this?
Yes, sir. Like in having you have just one, na, marital equals to marriage. If I want to put two, like one is this only, and second for job also. For job equals to any of the category like entrepreneur or something like that.
This, right?
Yes, sir.
What is the problem?
So, but when I was using it in Spark, na, it was showing error. I don't know what that error was, but it was showing that.
No, whenever you get error, na, take a screenshot and send it to me over email, over WhatsApp. Now always, I may not reply immediately. I may be busy or maybe having some health issues right now. But yeah, at least I have some proof to help you, na, where you are mistaken. So some of my students still do it, and I reply them. Maybe late, but I reply. Otherwise, how will I know what you are doing? No? There might be some error. Maybe you're not using and, you may be using this. Sorry, you may be using this and whatever. I don't know. Or you may be just doing comma, having this is equal to this, comma, this is equal to this. So I don't know what you are doing, right? Maybe that column which you are using maybe not be a part of this group by.
I think that was similar to this. I was using in with marital in spite of is equals to, and maybe the error was like
Okay.
maybe
Let's
like
do it.
and only and not.
So maybe something like, oh, sorry. So anyways, it's working, but yeah, I don't know, but it's fine.
Yes, I got it.
But whenever you have to use where should always be before group by. Because where filters before the group by and having filters once the group by is done, huh?
So use it once if it's where before group by use if it is running on it.
Yeah, it will run. Why it will not run? But then let's say you want to use some other column where age is greater than 30. So for people whose age is greater than 30, you want to do some analysis for those people. Let me remove this last wala filter.
There also I was
It is
having
working now, like count has 10 and earlier it was 18.
there also I was having an error like when I use where I think I was using it with only that column which I have grouped by.
No, see, where you can use with any column. Why? Because it is before group by, na. So where you can use with any column, but having, because it is working after group by, it can only be used on the group by columns. Having is after group by, na, so only these two columns can be used here. But in where you can use any column. So for people whose age is greater than 30, if you look at and plus if they are married, you are seeing in what field they are mostly. 1353. Okay, whatever. So you can do that kind of analysis. Any other thing, Shivali, in this?
No, sir.
Okay. Yeah, someone was saying something. I think Mayank or Adhyan who was saying
Yes,
something.
sir.
Yeah, Adhyan, please. What you were
I
saying?
just wanted to ask, can we sir, combine some of these columns like unknown and unemployed into one?
Unknown and unemployed into one.
We have to categorize them into without income. So student, unemployed, and unknown into one column.
So you want 10 plus 176 plus 49 together.
Yes, yes, sir.
Like you want to merge the categories.
Yes, sir.
If there are categories where there are maybe there's some categories with very less entries, no, in our data. So it's better to merge them.
Concat.
What he was trying to say. Right there?
Yeah.
Like in Python, we used to replace it with some other thing.
Yeah.
So how
Like
to
we
do it in
merge
this?
some of the categories to make them ones, like we did in bank color data set.
Yeah, you can do. 1 second.
Like we do single and divorce as one category and married as a different.
I got it. I got it. Okay. See, you cannot do that directly. I can do that indirectly. Let's have this data because it will help you to compare what I am doing now. Let me create another cell, and then you can compare what I have done. You cannot do it directly, guys. So what you have to do, you have to use this case when let's say I'm merging these two, unknown and unemployed. When job in unknown, comma unemployed, then let's say unemployed, else job.
No, not this way, sir. This is only for the query that we write now. If we want
Wait,
to do
wait,
that
wait, wait. Let me do it. Even if it is not what you want, at least you will understand what I'm doing. Something new you will learn. So first just understand what I'm doing, and then you definitely come up with your questions. They are welcome. When this in this, then this, else this, and does this, this. I don't want to do anything. So guys, see, let's say you say Rahul, all the unknowns and unemployed needs to become one single category, right? So there is no magic. You have to apply the brain. You have to apply analytics. What I did, I introduced a new column. I introduced a new column where I say whenever it's unknown or unemployed, give them a same value. But in the rest of the cases, keep it as is. In rest of the cases, keep it as is. For management, it's management. Whatever else is there, it will be gonna same. For blue collars, blue collars. So say case, I told you guys case statement earlier. Case when job in this, give me this. Else keep it job only. as a new category column. And now you will say, okay, group by new category. You don't group by the job because it's a new category or a new job category, whatever. Okay, and I think that's it. No, you have to take a subquery, take it as a temp table, select whatever you use in the grouping. Let's say comma marital also you want to do, and you want what? You want this with the count of star as CNT, and instead of this you will have new category. Sorry, from this. So unemployed and divorced are 49, and let's look at above that unemployed and divorced 47, unknown and divorced 42. So we added 42 and 47, we get 49. Unknown single were 19, unemployed single were 124, to 124 plus 19, which is how much? 143. So you get 143. So tell me, Adhyan, is this what you want or you want something else? And Shivali, you also. First, Adhyan, you tell me.
Sir, we have done this in SQL thing, but when we will use in a machine learning building, so will it be there also?
No, wait. First of all, this is what you wanted to do or you wanted something else?
So this is what I wanted to do, but for the machine learning part, this is we have done for the SQL table. But when we will apply this to our model, then the categories will be the same.
When you apply to the machine learning model, the categories will be the same.
So like.
No, but you will be using the new column, no? You won't be using the older column. You will drop the old column, no? You will be using new column.
Okay, sir. So we have to convert by using SQL. There's not a direct function like we used to have in Python.
You can do it. Wait for it. First of all, just understand that multiple ways are there. For example, what your requirement is. First of all, tell me your requirement. You want to say that job column, unknown and unemployed should be treated as single value, right?
Yes, sir. Like we can merge many of the values.
You can merge n number of values. So first of all, there is no magic. You have to use this case statement, right? Which is the first way using SQL. So you just keep all those columns which you want to treat as same and give them a single value and generate a new column. And now the old column is of no use. So for your machine learning, you have to use the new column, which is new category. You agree so far?
Yes, sir.
Right. So if you have to do through SQL, you can do it like this. Now you are saying instead of SQL, can I do it through Python, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you can do it. But for Python, it needs to be a data frame, right? What we are talking about is a table, right?
Yes, sir.
So, but this is the data frame, right? DF. So we have to do all those things on DF, right?
Yes.
Yeah. See, there are 10 different ways I can solve your problem, but your problem should be very clear in your mind. So now, yes, you are saying, Rahul, I don't want to use the SQL wala tarika. I want to use the Python wala thing, right? So yes, you can do it. Let's see how. You have a data frame. there is this select group by select this. Map function is not there. That's a good point. Let me see. Through Python, though it is easy, but through Spark or other PySpark, I'm just saying. So, there are multiple ways, guys. One is through tabular way, which we did. Now you want through PySpark, which we will do. Then you can do through RDD also, this thing. And you can also do through plain Python also. As in this data frame, you can convert to pandas. Remember?
Yes, sir. This was like next question. Like we have done in the pandas data.
No, that's what I'm saying, that you have a data frame DF. So what you want can be done through SQL, that can be done through data frame, that can be done through RDD also, but first you need to convert the data frame into RDD. We can convert data frame into RDD and we can do it through RDD also. And the fourth way of doing the same thing is you convert this data frame to pandas data frame and do it the way you guys already know. Adyan, are you getting my point? The 4 ways of doing it.
Yes. So can we convert it into Panda? No?
I'll tell you all the ways. First is through the SQL we did. Now
Yes,
I'm
sir.
trying to do through the PySpark. Then I will try to do it through RDD. Then I will try to do it through pandas.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. This is what is data frame. Data frame has its own language also. Matlab, known as a DSL. Data frame has its own language known as DSL, which is domain specific language. So, but I told you that I will not teach you this. Why? Because I don't want to tell you so many things. What I told you is for data frame, always convert it into table and work on it. But in data frame, you have its own domain specific language DSL, which is something like select, group by. I think I gave you a hint about it, that these things are also there. Okay. So like this, you can select job column, and now you want to combine few columns into few values as a single value. Let me think. Select group by. Okay, we'll park this. This may be a bit tricky, so I'm parking it for the time being. Let's go into the RDD wala way. That can we convert a data frame into RDD? Yes, we can. And there is a function of doing that. Data frame to RDD. Like we converted an RDD to data frame, guys. Remember, using struct type and struct field. You can do the reverse. You can convert a data frame into RDD also. It's df.rdd. So what I was doing. Where is it? Achha, I was saying to RDD. It's df.rdd. And let's say its name is RDD2. So now we have converted a data frame to RDD. In RDD, we have map function. Remember, we use a map function. We use lambda, and we said for every x which is input, give me x as output. If you guys remember this, please study about RDDs. and dot collect. This we did earlier. For RDD, we use a map function, lambda function, and collect function. And this is how my data is. Huh? Everything is a key value pair like age and all. So you are interested in which column? You are interested in job. See, for the RDD, you use a map function, and in the lambda, you say for every input, give me the output as is. But now we don't want output as is, we only want job column. Let's say you only want job column. So you say dot job. Let's see dot job. I'll see if this works. Dot job. It works, huh? Or you can say you want 0 1 second index number second, which is 1. Admin, huh? Now what you want is you want let's say wherever it is admin and technician, it should be one single value. Again, let me think. Again, I'm not getting anything here, so I'll park this also. So only way I know so far is SQL. I parked the DSL. I am parking the RDD also. Now I am going into pandas. Okay, guys, I hope you are getting my point. I am trying everything
Yes, sir.
possible.
Yes, sir.
I am trying everything possible, but I am not getting the solution.
So can't
I
we use for loop
wait.
for this lambda?
For this, you want for loop.
Yes, sir, and then convert for every admin as or like normally we write a lambda function and then the input and then use for.
Yeah, I understand your point. See, you can do it. Okay, I don't want to make it complicated, but yes, this can be done. 1 second. I can put a if condition here. Okay,
Yes.
I can put a if condition here, like if this is equal to admin, I can say if this is equal to admin, then or if this
Comma is equals to the main
again,
value and then yes.
no, yeah, I can see everywhere you have to do if then else only. Even if you want me to do this way also. Then let's say cat A else x1. I can do this. Technician. Guys, first understand this before I run it. I'm stopping because I don't want to make it complicated. But yeah, if you want to use a lambda expression, you can do it. That for every input, what you will do, you will check its job value. If that x of 1 in this, then cat A else x1 as is. Cat A as in the category A, put it like this. I can do this also. But let me check if clause in lambda python. Syntactically, there must be some minor thing. I don't want it to be missed. It is like this. is something like this. Here in lambda, it works in a reverse way. I'll tell you. So in lambda, it is like this. For every input x, give me x of 1 if x of 1, let's say not in this, else or you can write it multiple ways. There are multiple ways of doing it. Okay, so guys, see what I want. For lambda x, for input x, give me category A if x of 1, that job column, is in admin or technician. Else give me this. First of all, tell me if this is clear or you have any doubt in this. This will work fine.
Clear, sir.
Clear, sir.
So in RDD, you have to use lambda expression and you have to say, give me this cat A if x of 1 in this 2, else give me this. Or let's say you want to make all of these as admin. Whether it's admin or technician, make all of them admin. See? But you let me see. I'm just trying something else as well. How can I print another column also? Let's say I want x of 2. How will I check it? Let's see this. 1 minute. There are so many syntax, it all mixes up. Okay, anyways. Okay, so you are getting my point that even in RDD also, you can do this kind of work uh, for translating multiple categories into one single category and getting that as output.
Yes, sir.
Any question on this RDD before I go into the pandas?
Like you said, like the another column will can we check the another column with using collect, like, or collect will all get only what is given in the input, like whatever in the in lambda will do, that only will be collected.
Collect will only give you whatever is done in this
Okay, sir.
map function.
Map function. Okay.
Okay.
So we can use else if command also if we want to merge different more than two categories into different categories. Like in spite of else, we can use else if also.
1 minute.
Lambda function works on only one input.
No, I'm solving it. I'm solving it.
Okay.
Working.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Actually, this thing I was putting outside, no? So now it's fine. Um, the placement is also a problem. No, this is not behaving the way I wanted it. So leave it. Don't make it complicated.
Yeah.
But anyways, this is what we wanted to do. So you can do it, and further you can also extract additional columns based on the requirement. Okay. But what I want you all to do is fetch the extra columns also. Something very small needs to be done here. Okay, but now the final thing is what you guys are all aware about, converting a data frame to pandas data frame, right? So this is how it will look like. Let's say p underscore df to say it's a pandas data frame. And now, so I my intent is to tell you whatever I can to my best possible, doing SQL, doing DSL, doing RDD, and doing the pandas. So any data frame can be converted to pandas data frame. And now I don't need to tell you anything. You guys are aware how to work on this pandas data frame, but you will lose the distributed nature of Spark now. So Adyan, wait. Adyan, tell me how you do it in Python.
So we write the column name,
No, what should be the syntax? Tell me.
PDF job
Okay.
dot replace this,
Acha, okay, replace. Okay.
and then sir we can. Actually, I don't remember it. 1 second.
But you will use replace function, right?
Yes, sir, I will use the replace function.
It's old to new, right? It's old to new. But what you will say?
Like we can take the admin, all the.
You want admin to become technician, let's say. admin and technician you want to treat as one. So all the admins you are making technician. So that means even technician is technician, admin will become technician. So you have one single value, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's see P underscore DF1 equals to this. No. What happened here? Did it really replaced?
No, sir.
Okay. I have to use that true or false. Okay?
So we have to use comma in place equal to 2.
No, that's fine. But if you don't use even in place is equal to true, at least in the output it should have shown, no?
Yes.
Oh, it's dot. Array, there is a dot. In the admin, there is a dot if you see.
Yes, sir.
Now it's done. And in place is equal to true, yeah, you will do when you want to persist that change, no?
Yes, sir.
But yeah, so yeah, you can do it through this also.
So
Wait.
then
1 second. In PySpark, replace. So let's check PySpark. There is regex replace. Okay. So you have even in data frame also you can replace using this regex replace function. Okay, but you have to use with column also. So study about it. You can do it. It's also very simple. So this is the syntax. But yeah, everything can be done. Just different syntaxes are there. Tell me any other question, Adhyan?
no, sir.
Okay, so even in data frame also you can do. There is a regex replace function there which can work. So here also that can be done. Okay. Yeah. Anyone else? Any other question?
So like we have converted into this pandas data frame. So if we want to work more on that, so we can use that particular, no, like every time we don't have to now convert into pandas.
No,
It's
no, no.
already converted.
Once you are converted to pandas, na, then you don't need to do anything. It's done. You just work with pandas. You will only lose the distributed nature. That's it.
Sir, again we have to convert it to the PySpark nature. Then
No. Don't do that. What I am saying is use this pandas wala thing only if you want to do something in pandas. But if you still want to remain with data frames, na, don't even use this conversion.
Okay.
Use that regex replace, na.
okay, sir.
Okay, yes, sir.
What I am saying is all these 4 options which I told you were for your knowledge.
Yes, sir.
But you have, let's say you want to work on data frames only, Spark data frame. Then you will use the Spark regex replace function. Don't go to pandas, first convert it to pandas, replace, revert it to data, Spark data frame. No, don't do that, never. Go to pandas only in the case that that particular thing can only be done using pandas.
So like yesterday we plot next in the previous class plot the confusion matrix.
Right.
Okay.
No, but confusion matrix can also be plot using PySpark. We didn't saw that. in the last class, what I wanted to tell you is you can mix both sklearn along with PySpark. That's why I told you. But confusion matrix can also be built using PySpark.
Okay.
But what I wanted to tell you in the last class is you can do a mix and match.
So from
Something in
pandas we can
Pandas, something in PySpark. Haan, bolo.
like some data frame of pandas can be converted into this PySpark data frame.
Yes,
So what will be command for that? Like
we did it. We did it on the very first. We
so
have
that,
done total 6 Spark class. The first Spark class was on that only. Go through that.
okay, got it.
Remember the first class?
Yes, got it.
So, one second. PySpark. So, Adhyan, Pankaj Shivali, if you see in data frame, we have a with column function. Whenever you have to do any operation on a particular column, so on job column, and then you have to replace, so regex replace in this column, whenever you have this value, replace it with this value. So this is done. So what I am saying is, don't go to pandas, replace it, and then convert it to PySpark again. No. Just Google that PySpark equivalent of that pandas thing. Whenever you have to do anything that I can do in pandas, just Google how can that be done using PySpark. Even I don't remember 100% things, right? I have to also Google. Everyone has to Google. No one can remember everything. Let's say confusion matrix, right?
Okay.
So if someone say PySpark confusion matrix, right? So just see, there will be Pankaj,
Yes, sir.
we have the confusion matrix here also.
But it is using it's a SC parallel.
In PySpark.ml or MLlib evaluation, we will have confusion matrix here also. You don't need to use sklearn wala confusion matrix.
But it is using this RDD concept, no? Right. Parallel.
Very good. You saw that it's MLlib and we have to do ML. So that will also be there.
Yes.
You have to just remember these small things. If you Google it, it will come.
Python. ML
No problem. The same method, na?
Yes.
Same method you will try in ML. You will find it. Okay. Or see this. Even I told you guys the best thing. The solution for all the problems, which I told all of you. Just Google this. Remember I told you PySpark.ml.regression?
Yes, sir.
Dot classification, dot evaluation, go into the source code. This is the source code. If you go in the source code, you will search for anything and it will be there. Let's say confusion matrix is not available here, but what all things are available in here. You have binary evaluator, regression evaluator, clustering evaluator, ranking evaluator. All these evaluators are there. So always go into the source code and you will get it. You just need to then do it. Huh?
So, like, can you do visualization also using PySpark?
Very good. Yes.
Graphics using.
Graphics?
So that was another thing, like GraphX, it is supporting.
No. Graphics is not for graph.
Okay.
GraphX is not for graph. GraphX is for graph data.
Oh,
And you don't know what is graph data. That's why don't go into that.
okay.
GraphX is not for graphs. So, who is this? Adhyan, you are getting my point? Whatever can be done through PySpark, do it through PySpark only. Go to Pandas only if it is not available in Spark, RDD, data frame, SQL. Then only go to Pandas. Huh?
Okay, sir.
So I told you all the possible ways. And even for machine learning, when I told you that confusion matrix, I only told you that you can do a mix and match. Half pandas, half sklearn, half this, half that. I'll tell you one more important thing. Yeah.
Visualization.
Any question? Someone asking?
Yes, sir. So, in this binary classification file only, you have done one thing, select some columns
Yes.
in the decision tree classification part.
Yes.
So why did you do that? What was the purpose?
I'll tell you. Yes. This.
Yes, sir. This.
See. I don't know if this will run. What is predictions? Predictions is a data frame.
Yes, sir.
Whenever you run any machine learning model, the output of that model is predictions.
Yes.
And predictions is a data frame which contains a lot of columns like label, prediction, probability, and a lot of other columns. I'm telling you. So I just used, this is DSL, Adhyan, domain specific language for data frame. There is a select function on any data frame. You can use a select function and give the name of columns that you want to select. So predictions is a data frame, output of a machine learning model. This is the output of a machine learning model, prediction function. It contains multiple columns. I selected only 5 columns which I was interested in.
Okay.
Okay.
And sir, like in Python, we can find the variable importance, which so is it
Here also
possible?
you can check, yes. Based on its coefficient value, na?
Yes. Yes, sir. It gives us the importance.
Higher the coefficient, more the importance.
Yes. Yes, sir.
So here I told you in the last class, coefficients. 1 second. This feature weight.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So you just look for this feature weight wala column or weights, something like that. This coefficients, right? From the model, you will get its coefficients for all the features, and the one with the higher values, plus minus does not matter. Huh? It's just positive or negative correlation.
Correlation. Yes.
It's the absolute value that matters. Just look at it, and you will get which is more important feature.
Okay, sir. So do you
Okay.
also have some files, more files which you can share?
More program files.
Yes, yes. Like the binary classification file only. Some more files.
Malaf for different models, like different models.
Yes, sir. What different model or different data set?
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow test. That's one.
Okay. Wait. 1 second. I'll give you my students, the previous batch students notebook. Huh? One second. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
So,
Okay. So this is one of my students' notebook. I may not share it to you because you may get the same data, Boston data, for doing your Spark work. But I'll walk you through what he did and what you also need to do. Huh?
Okay, sir.
So first of all,
yes, sir.
he shared me his notebook, right? I told you how to share the notebook. Once you are done, click on this publish button. Once you publish it, you will get this URL, copy and send it to me in the email. Huh? This link. All of you just need to send me that link. I will open that link and I can see your notebook like this. Okay.
Okay. So output will be there or not, like
Everything will be there.
Okay.
This is a notebook that one student shared, right?
Okay.
So though it is not good example, but I am just showing you. He took some data. He just read that data. He uploaded that file. He read that data. He saw the data. He created a data frame. He didn't do any label encoding, one-hot encoding,
Analysis,
which is not
PDF.
good. He directly did vector assembling, right? But vector assembling is mandatory, right? After vector assembling, he did some correlation analysis. See, there are core plot correlation analysis. He did that. Where he imported this? Let me check. Without importing, how he did this? Yeah, here. See, Pankaj,
Yes, sir.
PySpark.ml.stat contains correlation. So core plot. So you can check from this package.
But sir, it is not like the plot now, it is only the values.
Yes, you are right, but check for other package, na?
Okay, sir, yes, sir, got it.
Or check within this package also.
Yeah.
Let's Google this, na? Just Google this PySpark.ml.stat. Go to in source code, and I told you go into all. Where is the all? Or UCC, it contains correlation. It contains what? It contains chi-square value, chi-square analysis. So just Google it.
Okay.
It contains Kolmogorov, Simirov test. I don't know what it is. KS test. I heard about it somewhere. KS test, summarizer. So there are a lot of things. You just Google it.
So like we can use display with all the command.
You can do display also, and display also is there for graphs. Absolutely, you can do. But I'm telling you, there are multiple
Yes, sir.
packages. So he did correlation analysis, vector assembling, then he used linear regression, he did random splitting to train and test, he fitted the model. See, he checked the coefficients to check which feature is more important, but he didn't told me. So his mark, he didn't got good marks. Why? Because there are no plots in this output. He did see the coefficient, but he didn't tell me that which is the more important feature based on this. What will I do out of this? I am telling all of you also.
So in this, the -12 will be the important.
Whatever means, I am not again going into that. But what I am saying is, once you print someone this coefficients and consider me as a end user, what will I know from this? You need to tell me now what this particular output is showing, what the intercept is meaning. Then you are evaluating and you are showing some predictions to me. So this is what Adyan, every prediction has a data frame, and then you need to see what output you want to show to the end user. So this guy only did this and gave the result. What is RMSC, MSC, okay, R square value, accuracy, MSC, okay. But let me show you another student's notebook. 1 second.
Yes.
Can you see this? Is it
Yes,
visible?
sir.
So this
Yes.
is another student's notebook reading the same Boston's file, but he first do EDA, data exploration. He looked at, see, he cached the data. See, he's so intelligent that immediately once you create data frame, he cached it so that it remains in memory. And all the other operations, whatever he will do, will refer the data from memory. So no one will tell you when to cache, what to cache, right?
Yes.
Then he did descriptive analytics. He did it to pandas and do a transpose, that's fine, but he did descriptive analytics, though using describe from pandas or whatever. Then he further uses pandas only for plotting all other core plots, correlations. He told me target is correlated to what by what. He then preparing data for machine learning, right? So he's doing better. He used linear regression. Then he's telling, see, he's giving headings also everywhere. So that's why I want to tell you, giving examples. See, he's printing things in the proper way. Printing function RMSC and R2 that he's calculating. He is also describing his output data. He's doing a lot of things, right? And then he do some predictions. But then still this guy, what he do, he only used one model. He didn't use his multiple models. There is another student, what he did, he used linear regression also, he used a decision tree also, and gave me the comparison between two. So you need to be smart as in what all you can do with a given system to get better marks. This is another student who tried to do some scatter plot. This is a residual plot between fitted values and residual values, residual plot. But it's up to you guys what all you can do. This data is all numerical, so there is no scope of encoding and all. That's why these people haven't done that. But at least they have forgotten to do scaling. They haven't, none of them has done standard scaling. See, 396. How can you say your model is good when you don't do scaling? No? These are out, this is completely out of scale. This is on a different scale. Getting my point?
Yes.
So age column, see, so you should have done standard scaling. No one did it. You should have done missing value imputation. No one did it. No one means few people did it. That's why they get better marks. They at least you should show me a cell, Python cell, in which you will check for missing values. If there is no missing value, it's fine. But why you assume it? You need to show me a cell where I can see that yes, this guy did missing value imputation, this guy did standard scaling. So I need all of you to take care of these things, and this is how you will be submitting your assignment to me. And I want you to use more than one model. Don't stick with only one model. I hope you all will be getting the same data, but please use at least two models, okay? Any questions before we end the class for the day?
Sir, one basic question. Like you said, everything is built on this RDD, na? Like if look, so in what I want to know, like if any particular data I am loading, so it will be communicated with this DBS, like for this Databricks storage system, or it will be first converted get to this RDD before.
No. Data frames. No, data frames are separate. RDDs are separate.
No, so
What
any
I
data,
said-
I'm talking about any data. I'm not initializing it as any like it should be a data frame or not. So just this communication. I want to know about the communication.
So whenever you are working on any data frame also, it will go and read data from DBFS.
DBFS. Okay.
That's why we do cache.
Yes. Sir.
If you do cache, data will be read from not DBFS but from the memory. Okay.
So which memory? Like that.
RAM.
Okay, RAM. Okay.
Data will be stored in RAM na, as soon as you do cache.
Okay.
Sir, we have 2 days for the test, tomorrow and
See,
day after tomorrow.
did Damini shared with you the assignment exam?
There are 2 dates for the exam.
No.
Only the
I
schedule,
know.
sir.
Did she share the content?
No, sir.
Yeah. So tomorrow she will be sharing it to you, and tomorrow end of the day is the target. Actually, it's 1 day, but for those of you who face some technical issues, for
Yeah.
example, sometimes my students also face that when they are starting this cluster, sometimes it takes 5 to 6 hours to start this cluster. In the worst case, for one of two people, and if you're not able to start the cluster, how will you do programming, right? So only for those people who face issues with starting a cluster, they can take 1 more day. But it rarely happens. But yeah,
So like
I
at
give
least-
you 2 days. Tomorrow, end of the day, or at least day after tomorrow. So maximum day after tomorrow, I need all of you to share the program to me. Yes, Pankaj.
No, sir, got my point. Like I said, like if I started creating if I creating a cluster and then work on this particular data, but in between I have just stop and then resume. But I got to my answer, like it is always in the workspace now.
It's there.
Yes, sir, not in
You
the.
just start a cluster and attach it to the notebook, na?
Yes, yes, I got.
Mayank, you were asking something.
यस सर
Hmm.
सर वो हाइट में आपने बोला था ना कि अगर हम टेबल प्रॉपर्टीज में ट्रांजैक्शनल इक्वल टू ट्रू डाल दें
हाँ
टेबल को हम अपडेट कर सकते हैं
नहीं मैंने ऐसा नहीं बोला था। देखो, शायद तुमने मुझे पिंक किया था ना इसके लिए व्हाट्सएप पे।
हाँ सर वो लोकेश मैंने और हनी ने एक प्रोजेक्ट किया था ना ग्रुप में तो उसमें ये प्रॉब्लम आई थी।
देखो, मैंने ऐसा कभी नहीं बोला। मैं और दूसरी बात, अगर मैंने बोला भी होगा तो क्या आपने गूगल किया फिर?
सर किया बट वो कुछ मिला नहीं हम, क्योंकि टेबल प्रॉपर्टीज जब हम इंटरनल टेबल बनाते हैं ना तो ये टेबल प्रॉपर्टीज वाली रन हो जाती है बट तब भी अपडेट नहीं हो रहा था। बट जब हम एक्सटर्नल
नहीं होगा मैं बता रहा हूँ।
और सर एक्सटर्नल टेबल में तो ये वाली कमांड भी नहीं चल रही है।
अरे इधर देखो, बिल्कुल देखो भाई, जब भी आप whenever you want to create a transactional table ना, this thing you have done, right? Table properties transactional is equal to true.
Yes sir.
There are 2 mandatory properties, additional properties. A table should be a ORC table. It should be stored as ORC.
Okay.
And clustering should be done. Clustered by the column into whatever buckets. So a transactional table has 2 more properties to it. So you need to pass all these 3 features. Unless you don't do it, you won't be able to do anything.
And what is this, sir? ORC?
See, like you have CSV file, you have text file, you have JSON file, XML file. ORC is a file format.
Okay.
Read about it. ORC, optimized row columnar. It's a optimized row columnar file format.
Okay.
There is RC and there is ORC. RC and ORC, 2 file formats. Very important. Please study.
Okay. And this syntax will work for both external and internal table?
Transactional table needs to be internal tables only. Let me check.
Yes, sir. This was the error only. While we are creating the external table, then we are not able to run this command.
Yeah. Transactional tables, you cannot have externals. They needs to be internal. because internal means they will be internally managed. Let me check. See, only internal tables can be transactional,
Okay.
not external. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So good. Ask me these kind of questions. I am really happy that you are doing something. Very good. Any other thing, Adyan? Oh, Mayank.
No, sir.
So you Google and get that syntax. I will not share the link to you.
Okay.
That there are three properties. One is the bucketing and ORC. So you have to do bucketing and ORC.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Adyan, you were also asking something? Adyan, you're on mute. Okay. So Shivali and Shrikant, do you have any questions before we wrap up?
No, sir, not from my side.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, so as I have given you demo also how your notebook should look like, please work on it. You have 2 days, tomorrow and day after. Submit it. Try to do as much different models you can try, plotting and EDA, everything, and share the notebooks to me by publishing them. And I'll evaluate you and share the marks to Damini. After that, we will have the Viva separately for PGA 12 and 19 on Friday and Saturday. So that's it, guys. But yeah, I will be available for any doubts on WhatsApp.
Sir.
Yeah, who is this?
Sir, this is Mayank.
हाँ बोलो.
सर वो कुछ रेज्यूमे रिलेटेड अगर बात करनी हो तो आपको किस टाइम कर लूं कॉल?
मयंक आप मुझे पिंग कर लेना. As I told you ना, some health issues are going on and I'm visiting doctor frequently.
Okay, sir.
So once I will be well, I'll definitely be available. But ping me so that I remember that I have to call you. Lokesh also ping me. I didn't get time to call him.
ठीक है sir.
Just ping me at least so that I have that noted.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir,
Okay. हाँ पंकज बोलो.
Sir, like, do we need to know every command in this Spark data frame, or
That's
just...
what I told you, na. Even I don't remember everything.
Yes, sir.
Google it.
Okay.
But you should know what all can be done.
Yeah.
Then
Like
only
in
you can
interviews,
Google.
they ask about the commands also. Like just
They ask. See, but they mainly ask major commands. If some of them you don't know, you tell them the approach.
Okay.
Interviewer needs to look at the approach. He don't need you to be a book. He need you to be a brain, right? You don't need to be a book. You need to be a brain that can think, right? So even I have interviews after this call. I have to take 3 interviews back to back. So I don't look for bookish knowledge, no. I will look for their analytical knowledge.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Chalo. Okay, guys. All the best with your assignment. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.